I'm happy too.
All right, this would be my Back to the Future West Coast IPA. Starting to clear out a little bit, thankfully. Very nice. It's got a nice, dank, citrusy quality to it. But I'm not overly bitter. Not bad. See, it might have a little bit of a, if I was to fault it on anything, a little bit of a butterscotch thing going on. But that's so bizarre because I know I ran this with the glycol system, so I know the temperature was spot on. Sometimes I think it's there and sometimes I think it's not. Maybe I'm being too critical. So I haven't done one of these updates in a while. It's been busy around main brew guy's household. We're still having an in-ground pool put in. That's taking some time. The weather hasn't been cooperating. It's been raining a lot down here with all the tropical storms coming through. So I did a double brew day recently. I did a Pilsner, which is over there in the glycol system. And I did a repeat of my Throat Punch. It's my Mango New England IPA, the one that was in the previous video. And both seem to be doing well. I can show you here. Let's take a look. All right, getting ready to start today. A little late start, actually. I planned on starting at 6 in the morning. It's already 9. And I just heated up the water. I haven't even ground my grains yet. Doing a big double brew day today. I know it's late in the season to do a Pilsner, but it is Florida and I can kind of drink a Pilsner year round. So we are gonna brew the Apocalypse Pilsner. Renamed because it's been retooled a little bit from my previous Pilsner that I did, which I think I called Collusion Delusion Pilsner or something like that. And the New England IPA, which will be the second beer that we do, is the same recipe that you've seen on my How to Brew a Juicy Hazy New England IPA video, the do's and the don'ts. So we were going to be brewing that same exact recipe today. In fact, no changes from the one you saw on the video. It's worked well. It's the one I have on tap now. It's beautiful. It's still holding up, but I think I'm about maybe 1 pint pour away from it blowing out. So I need that one on tap again because it's so good. All right, so let's get this brew day started. Okay, here are the recipes. I've got I've got the hops that I'm going to need for everything. I just need to weigh them out. But the Apocalypse Pilsner will be first. The water profile reports behind there. Same thing with the New England IPA. Water profile reports behind there. So those water profiles are separate because they're two different types of beers. That's why they're tucked underneath each recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and get the brewing salts ready because my strike water's up to temp. I just need to put the grains in, so I want my brewing salts ready to go. I already pre-treated my RO water with some phosphoric acid to bring my pH of the water down to 5.3. So we're ready to go. Okay, we're mashing out on our first beer. All right, doing good. We have that even exchange. Wort coming out to sparge water coming in. I'm pretty happy with that. Here we go on the Pilsner. It's looking pretty good. I like the color. It's coming out pretty clear. And we're ticking down the amount of water we were going to sparge with, which would take us down to 12.5 gallons. Let's take a look inside the mash tun. And I think I may need to bump that up a little because I'm starting to see the grain bed. So I will bump that up a tad down here on this valve. There we go. That should take us the rest of the way. So the next beer, while the Pilsner is boiling, it'll be a 90-minute boil for the Pilsner. While the Pilsner is boiling, I will be cleaning the mash tun. I'm not going to go crazy cleaning it. I'm just going to empty it, rinse it, put it right back up, and we're going to go ahead and start the New England IPA mash in. By that time, the HLT should be back up to temperature. I've collected an additional 6.5 gallons of RO water in another container. That's what I need to do on a double brew day. I will pour that in and let that heat up to a strike temperature at rest. Okay, as I said, we are at the boil here, just started, but it's a 90-minute boil. I am up to temp here in the HLT with the additional water. Just reminded me I have to add a little bit more of phosphoric acid. I'm gonna add a cap, just a little under a cap. Now, as you do this enough, you'll know, I've played around with it and it works. And I know it's unscientific, but it isn't really, because it's the same, as long as I know where I'm measuring. And I'm pretty good about that pH being pretty good in the mash water. Remember, when you're doing the pH adjustment in the RO water, there's not a lot of buffering power there. You're only just doing that really to set the stage for the sparge, so that you're sparging with the same pH water that you have in the mash. Helps to not strip the tannins. Okay, let's get our grain bill. It's a bigger grain bill than the Pilsner. And we're going to start mashing in here. I just need to figure out how much water I need to move over. I've already have salt set up. I'm ready to go there. What I like about a double day like this is that 2 beers with really only a little bit of this, one cleanup really. I mean, a little more than one cleanup, but it's not true cleanup. You don't have to go crazy, you just need to rinse. So here we go. Let's move some water over. So we're underletting as we did before. I don't need the pump right now because the boil is going on, so I'm good there. But I have to hurry because if I wait too long, then I will need the pump in the middle of my mash. So I can't kind of dawdle around here. I gotta get it going right away. It's just all a timing thing. You'll know your system and how to time everything out. All right, make sure my valves are all going the right way. There we go. That one wasn't. And looks like I have 73 liters. Recipe code for 26.5 liters. Yes, 47.5 liters. I had to do that on my head. Okay. Well, here we go. Let's move that water over. I will turn the element off while I'm moving water in case I lose track. I don't burn the element out. Of course, I would probably ruin the beer, but it's better than ruining the beer and the system. And I can see that we're coming down in the HLT so that I know I'm actually moving. Nothing's plugged, nothing's blocked. All right. Oh, that boil I can bring up a tad, so let's do that. Now that the hot break has kind of folded back in, I can bring the boil up a bit. So let's see here. My nice smiley face is gone. That was kind of cool. I did not draw that. It came up all on its own. I have Porter the brew dog with me. Yes, I named my dog Porter. Hi, Porter. Hi. Porter is a Frenchton, not a Frenchie or a Boston Terrier. It's its own breed now, but it is a designer breed of a French Bulldog and a Boston Terrier. Pretty cool dog, actually. All right, looks like we're coming up on 10 liters. So that cooked corn smell from the Pilsner malt is sort of boiling off already. At the first boil, you can really smell it. It smells like cream corn. It's pretty bad. As soon as that water breaks at the top, I have to add my brewing salts. Now, I don't add my brewing salts to the water, I add it to the mash. And this helps me in this case because I haven't tainted my brew water. And when you dilute your HLT with more water to get your coil submersed in the recirculating process, you really don't know. It's really hard to, it's a lot of work to try to identify what more salts you have to add to get it. And it's just not necessary. You just put it straight in the mash, it's fine. It's less complicated, less to worry about. And we're just gonna dump that right in. And we are coming up on 15.5 liters. Got a nice rolling boil, it's perfect. It's not too crazy aggressive where it's splashing, but you can see it's rolling. I've got another 5 minutes and I'm gonna do a hop drop there. You can see I'm coming up to temp now. Started using Beersmith 3, I just recently purchased it. So I'm readjusting some of my dead spaces and stuff. It didn't add up, some reason, and they must have refined the math on it or whatever, because I tried to put the same numbers in and I got some wacky outputs. So I've been kind of tweaking it. So we'll play around with that. I may add a little bit more like I did on the last one, and if it's consistent that I had to add about another liter, then I will adjust accordingly. It's not far off. Okay, so it says that I should have enough water. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I don't know. It looks a little light like the other one did. So I may end up adding another liter in and just subtracting it from the sparge. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's pretty thick. I can tell right away. It's thicker than I like. So I'm gonna go ahead and just move over another liter. And then I'm gonna adjust my program accordingly so that I don't have to put the guesswork in there anymore. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's much better. So it's consistent to the last batch where I had to add almost another liter. Yeah, this is perfect. I'm just a degree, almost, looks like it's settling in at 2 degrees lower than strike. That's okay. I'm gonna recirculate and get that back up. Okay. And we have to move everything over to recirculate. I have to turn this valve off now, otherwise it will start dumping out the contents of the HLT. Let's put the manifold on there and close the lid so I don't lose any more heat. There we go. Where did I settle in now? Oh no, it came back up. So I'm at 149. Call that a success. Here, I'll show you. When I stirred it, it looked like it was going down precipitously, but I think it kind of... So we're good. It gets a little complicated when you do a double brew day this way, but it does save time, and you're able to get 2 beers out of the process. So I do like that. All right, valve switched. I am now in the recirculating pattern. How much time do I have? Oh, I'm ready for my first hop drop. See how this can get a little fucking crazy here. So 60-minute drop, right in the kettle. No spider, no hop spider. Next hop drop is at 30, 15, 5. That's it. Traditional kind of Pilsner hopping schedule. Oh my God, that smells so good. Oh, that's gonna be amazing. I'm really happy with that. So let's start recirculating. So the red number is, of course, the probe. So that's what's coming into the top of the mash tun. Looks like I ended up at 148 there. So that should bring it back to 150 within a minute or two. And there we go. And I have 65% of the boil on the Pilsner. Mash timer has started. Okay. Whew. Pilsner is in the fermenter. It's actually in the glycol system cooling down. I could only get it to about 89. We're currently down to 74 and on our way down to 55 as it's a Pilsner. I've already sparged in the amount of sparge water that I need, was 4 gallons, and I'm just collecting the wort now for the New England IPA. So the kettle screen filter at the bottom worked quite well, but that was for a Pilsner, but it did, collect and cake up a lot. So the screen worked well, though I believe it left a lot of true behind. It's hard to tell in a stainless steel conical fermenter, but when we do this one, we'll know better. That's the true test. So collecting the wort now for the second part of the brew day. So we came in at 1047 according to the tilt. We were supposed to come in at 1048. We actually did come in at 1048 according to the hydrometer and the Brix reading. So the tilt is just a little off, not a big deal. And as far as the glycol is concerned, we're down to 73. The tilt has a little bit of a lag when it comes to the temperature because if it's encased in that plastic and it takes a little while to translate through. So we'll believe this one here over this one here for now, but eventually they merge. So part 1, success. Part 2, we'll find out. Time for beer. That is the Oktoberfest that Matt and I did. I can't say how it's just fantastic. I can't even. Wow. Matt, we did good. So I raised the temperature a little bit because I don't have the pressure relief valve on here. I don't really need it because it seems like this thing might leak a little, but there's always pressure on here. There we go. I don't know if you can hear that. It's just a slight amount of pressure. I think the tank itself might just leak a little, so it never lets it build up too much. So I'm not worried about it exploding or anything like that. I wouldn't recommend that on every brew bucket. It just so happens that is what mine's been doing. So like I'm down to 1021, so I raised it to 58, and I'll leave it there. Even though I have a small bit of pressure on it, but all right, so the audio cut out there. I think I pulled my mic out while I was walking. But you can see that I hadn't dropped the hops yet. They're still sitting up there with the magnets because we're still fermenting. You can see a little bit of activity going on. Plus every time I burp down the pressure, it builds back up. So we're still going. I want to wait till the fermentation is pretty much done. Then I'll pull the magnets and let that drop. And then we'll move it over to keg and 24 to 36 hours later. I mean, we're all busy, right? And yeah, it's been a hell of a year, man. 2020 has been a sucky year for me. In some aspects, and in some aspects it's been a very good year. So I have to take the good with the bad. I think we tend to focus on all the negative because we're predisposed to think about negative things. But there were some good things that did happen to me this year, but I did have a really bad start of the year, and some of my closer friends here on the internet know what happened. I'm not really going to get into that because I don't want this to be a pity party, but it's been a tough one. Anyway, the pool should be done. It should have been done already, the rain, whatnot. I'm really excited to start doing videos out there by the poolside with you guys. So that probably is still 3 or 4 weeks away. And we've been trying to finance this out of pocket, so yeah, there won't be any big expenditures in the brewery for a while. And what else we got going on? I have a Digiten addition to the brewery that's going to be added sort of a product review during a brew day, and we'll see how that works out. But I'm still probably a couple weeks away from being able to brew again. I suspect we're having a family get together here in the next week. I suspect we're going to be going through a lot of the beers here, so I'm sure I'll have some tap room coming up soon. But I also want to can a bunch of this stuff up and send it out to you guys. So there is that. Try to get it out before the holidays. I hope you enjoy it. If you'd like to receive a box, I can't send it to everybody, but if you'd like to receive some beers from me, and I'll even send one package overseas to the UK if anybody in the UK wants something, or Europe. But other than that, I have to limit it. As you know, it's very expensive. So yeah, I'll be sending out some beers. So if you're interested in that, put it in the comments. I guess I'll take the first ones up to probably maybe 10 people. After that, I'll probably have to call it quits. Otherwise, I'll go broke. Also, on the Digiten video, please watch that because there's going to be a giveaway in that video as well. And you folks up north will really appreciate it because it'll keep you warm. Okay, that's it for now. Cheers. Take care.